Hi everyone, thanks so much for coming out today. I'm Ray Russell, CEO of RoPro Design. Sorry I couldn't be with you in person, but I'm in Brisbane, Australia right now working on a short-term project with QUT University. So before we get started too far down the road, just some quick background on what we do at RoPro. Basically we design and build mechanical and electronic prototypes, and we kind of focus on mobile robotics. Basically things that drive themselves, and it can be anything from cars to bulldozers to airplanes to boats. I'm actually here in the lab right now at QUT with the prototype we're building for them. It's a robot for autonomous farming. They're anticipating that the Chinese market is going to need exponential needs for food here in the next 20 years. They don't have the manpower to do that, so they're looking at solutions for growing food autonomously with these autonomous tractors. So unfortunately I only got 7 minutes to talk, so I won't be able to tell you much more about the project than that. So we're going to press on to our subject today, which is a non-traditional approach to engineering internships. So we could spend all morning talking about this, but I try to condense what we do down into 4 topics. Number 1 is establishing a long-term relationship with prospective interns. Number 2 is selecting interns with plans to attend a local engineering college. 3 is to show them the problem before we teach them the solution. And then number 4 is to make sure that there's consequences of actions. So number 1, establish a long-term relationship with prospective interns. Before we offer internships, we like to make sure there's already a good chemistry. If there's not a good chemistry, then you're basically wasting your time. In our own case, we do this by working with the Central Valley High School BattleBots class. This was originally an after-hours class that Mr. Fiedler developed, and he's turned it into an actual 4-credit mechatronics class now. And if he's in the audience, you should seek him out afterwards. He has some great insight into what he's trying to accomplish there. So by working with the students throughout the year, by the time school's out, we have a fairly good idea of the ones who will fit our system. And we invite those that fit the template to join us for the summer as paid interns. Number 2 is that we try to select interns that plan to attend a local engineering college. By choosing those kinds of students that are going to stay local, we're guaranteed year-round access to them, which is so important. So if they're going to like a branch campus like Penn State Beaver, we'll get them up to 4 years. If they're going to some place like Robert Morris, we might get them for 6. Currently we have 1 of each of those on our staff. I try to get them as high school sophomores and juniors because the earlier we'll get to them, the better. There's so much to be taught in robotics. It's a large discipline. There's mechanical design, there's electronics, there's software, and just 1 3-month summer session with us just doesn't come close to being what needs to be taught. So number 3, show the problem before teaching the solution. Wow, traditionally it seems that we always try to teach solutions to problems that the students haven't yet been exposed to, and I've often wondered if this is why the majority of students dislike math so much. Because there's not an understanding of the problem, giving them the ability to solve it is irrelevant. It just comes across as busy work. I know we're always hearing them say, when will I ever use this stuff? Well, in our internship, we try to make sure that student gets an answer to those sorts of questions. I know one of my greatest sources of satisfactions comes from when one of the interns walks in and tells me excited about some new math technique he's learned that day in college that's going to help him on a current design project he's working on. That's just such powerful stuff. And number 4 is consequences of action. Probably the most important aspect of what we do. Rather than just providing them with these open-ended intellectual exercises, we give them real-world design projects, budgets, deadlines, cranky customers, angry subcontractors. They get the works. Basically small business at its best and worst. We try to make sure there are real-world consequences for their decision-making process. So basically we throw them into the deep end of the pool, which links back to point number 1, establishing a long-term relationship with your interns before you select them. You need to know that the ones you're going to throw into the deep end aren't going to panic and will figure out a way to swim as quickly as possible. And I'm continually amazed at how resourceful and adaptive and creative these kids can be when you put them to the test. Screwing up is all part of the learning process. We both expect it. We encourage it. We even have a wall in the office which we call the wall of shame. When you screw up, it gets your project gets hung on the wall as a reminder. And if you're wondering, yeah, I still get stuff hung there myself. Learning's a lifelong prospect, and it never seems to be over. So that's probably close to my 7 minutes of fame. Dean Petrello, our VP, should be out there somewhere in the audience. Tall guy, blonde hair, good looking. There he is over there. If you have any detailed questions, feel free to seek him out. He'll pass along my email address if you want to share something personally with me. I'd love to hear from you. The internships are the best part of what we do at RoPro. And if I can help someone else expand on what we've done, I'm all for it. Before I go, quick shout out to my Beaver County STEM homies. Miss you guys. Hope to see you soon. Okay, that's it. Thanks for coming. Go Steelers.